Film School Slacker contains adult language and themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to... What the fuck is this called? Hello and welcome to Film School Slacker, a podcast where I help my best friend expand his mind and watch new movies and check them off his ever-growing watch list. I am Megan.
And I am said friend. I am Ian.
Aw, you said friend.
I'm said friend.
Said friend.
Right, said friend.
Gross.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know.
And this week, since I'm introducing, it's the Flip the Script episode, which means it's a movie that I have not seen, that Ian has. And what are we watching this week? It's Sorry to Bother You.
Sorry to Bother You, a 2018 American science fiction black comedy film.
Ooh.
Written by Boots Riley in his directorial debut.
Ooh.
We've got Lakeith Stanfield, Tessa Thompson, Jermaine Fowler, Murray Hardwick, Terry Crews, Patton Oswalt, David Cross, Danny Glover, Steve Ewan, and Armie Hammer, which is part of the reason that we were talking about this week, was I definitely went down the House of Hammer rabbit hole.
And then I followed.
Yeah, because that's how we roll around here.
I had heard the House of Hammer documentary covered on a true crime podcast a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like after it first came out, I think.
Sure.
It's a couple years old now. But I never actually watched it. And then I went and watched it, and holy shit.
Yeah.
That's a whole thing.
Yeah, it's wild. At first I was like, is this it? And I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is weird.
This is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So it is, I have seen this movie before. I unfortunately, my parents were in the room when I watched it the first time, so that colors it for me.
Gotcha.
I don't think that, I think I will be fine because they won't be in the room.
Yeah.
Like I think we'll be fine. But yeah, it's a really unique film.
Mm-hmm.
I
know it's about like a telemarketer who discovers his like white voice, his customer service white voice.
Right.
And then some crazy stuff happens, I've seen like screenshots from the film. Okay. But I've never actually seen it.
Do you know anything storyline beyond that?
No.
Okay. And you know that their telemarketer voices are voiced by other people.
I love that.
So I'm not going to tell any more than that because it's really funny. It's really funny. I didn't say who. The cinematographer was Doug Emmett. The music is by Tune Yards and The Coup.
I love Tune Yards.
So it's a really cool vibe. Like the fact that this is the one thing I'll say is the fact that this is this is Boots Riley's first directorial debut is crazy to me because it is really amazing.
Awesome.
But yeah.
Sweet.
That's it. Shall we
roll the tape?
All right, roll the tape.
Okay, I was woefully unprepared.
I am so sorry.
I don't. I need a nap.
Right.
Honestly,
There's a lot going on.
Much. There's a lot going on, and a lot of it is super applicable.
I know.
And I can't. I need to digest.
It was really hard for us not to discuss during the movie. There's just so many bits you just want to say something.
Oh my god!
I
think this is the most notes I've ever taken
for this podcast. Yeah. Do we just want to start just with notes and just kind of roll?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
So my first note is, okay, but everyone lies on their resume.
True.
I mean, not me.
Obviously not me.
Obviously not me. It starts off, I mean, one of the first things I noticed was the color contrast between like the manager's yellow office and then the blue office. I'm
yeah,
like,
they're in.
that's okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. This movie, I love the betrayal of expectation with the wall opening up, and you find out he's living in a garage.
Yes.
This movie does that really well.
Yeah.
It happens a couple times where you're just like, you expect something to happen,
and it's not at all.
What you expect.
And they use it to good effect. It's well executed, and they use it to good effect when it's being implemented. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, like at the very end, when he's gone through this whole transformation. When he's back in his uncle's garage, and he downgrades to a more sensible car, and he's back with Tessa Thompson,
right?
And then he closes the door and kind of covers his face. He was like getting down, he was on one knee, and I'm like, oh, he's just kind of he's reaching for the ring,
right?
Like, I'm like, he's gonna propose to her, and then no.
Fucking knows.
Yeah.
Because
what the fuck?
And not to go to the beginning first or the ending first, but like that is a good example of like it might even be something that you're kind of waiting to happen.
Yeah.
And then they wait exactly until you're not expecting it. They were able to just perfectly wait until you're it's like, oh, it's not gonna happen.
Oh yeah, he's everything's back to normal. Right. He's going about his life.
Right. That's like the last fucking bit. Oh my God.
Like, yeah. The literal drop in when he starts making calls and he literally just drops into.
Isn't that so good?
Yeah. Again, another like betrayal of expectation, but like, I cannot.
The uncomfortable intimacy.
Yeah.
Like that was
especially after he becomes a power caller and he's like faced inches away from this Japanese
turns
guy.
on his bidet.
Yeah.
Like,
That's not metaphorical
weird.
at all.
No.
Stroking his prostate. Anyway.
Right.
I cannot get over the visual storytelling of this movie. It is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And I can't. That's like most of my notes is
just
a
like
lot of
the detail. Like every time, and again, last time I saw this was like when it came out, like 2018. So my memory of it is a little different now. Like going back and looking at it, there's a lot more detail that I just fully don't remember. Yeah. But you're right. Like so much of what they're able to tell is just like a visual bit or visual affectations or characterizations that the characters do. It's very visual.
Debauchery. Spelled debauchery. I'm like, I'm totally stealing that name.
Oh, totally.
I'm totally stealing it.
Is that your drag name?
Debauchery.
Debauchery.
It is now. I'm like, early on, I'm like, is Squeeze talking about unionizing?
Yup.
In a big way.
Big old way.
The wiper duty. He has ropes attached to his fucking wiper. That car.
I fucking love the hoopty. I think it was my favorite.
I fucking love it.
My favorite character in the show might have been the car. It was so good. Like everything about, and that was the other thing too, is like every single thing was so organic, but it also was stylized in a way where you're like, oh, this was purposeful.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable.
Yeah. David Cross as his white voice.
Oh, so good.
I love you, David Cross.
Like, oh, it's
in all caps. The future is female ejaculation. I need that shirt. Honestly, Tessa Thompson's whole wardrobe was including all of her crazy ass earrings.
Oh my God.
Like the guy in the electric chair.
Oh, and then there was the
glittery penises.
Yeah. It's
like all of the like 3D printed plastic ones that were a full sentence across her face.
I wonder if I'm sure that there's an STL file for some of those. Print some crazy ass super lightweight but giant earrings.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The TV show, the I got the shit kicked out of me.
Yes.
It's a little Brave New World.
It is.
It's very like very gladiatorial combat in that same vein, but not really combat because they're just beating the shit out of people and dunking them in a feces tank.
It is a weird. It's a weird. I mean, because obviously the movie is absurdist, right? Like there's a definite like absurdist bent running through the whole thing, but it's billed as a sci-fi.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like
with the whole genetic mutation thing, I can see that.
Like, and but it is interesting because to me it is sci-fi in the way that the world is.
Yeah.
You know, like it did a pretty good job of doing that through line where it's like you notice when he got into the power caller area, like the stuff that he had access to clearly looked futuristic, and obviously the genetic modification stuff is very futuristic. But like if you're not one of those people and you're just a normal rando, like you don't have anything exciting. Did you notice anyone on a cell phone until her art performance where she had people throwing cell phones at her? I didn't either. They never talked. They never showed them.
Yeah, they never show them.
They implied them.
Yeah.
But they never showed them.
But they never show them.
Which I thought
until
was,
the end when he actually has a phone and you see it.
And even then, it was a very it was extraordinarily nondescript.
Yeah.
So, and I think that is actually an interesting kind of decision, like an artistic choice to like imply the existence of cell phones, and they're so ubiquitous that like we know, like we can fill our brain will fill the blanks and is like what was going to happen there, but you don't need to know. Like the only argument that I would make is people that he was calling. You would like when she was when the people were fucking, like she had a cell phone.
Yeah, cell phone. Yeah. The guy in the gold elevator. You got too many things. You get one thing.
Yeah, what? Yes. Yeah.
Mr.
The Mr. With the hat with the brim that goes all the way around.
He's the fedora. He's got an eye patch. He's got crazy facial hair.
Yep.
And his suits are always patterned over a patterned shirt. Like
yes,
dude,
power clashing.
You got too many things.
And his voice, he was voiced by Patton Oswalt.
Did they cast Patton Oswalt and David Cross as the white voices because they sound so similar?
I think so.
I guarantee that's what it was.
Probably, yeah.
Because Futurama, the Beast with a Billion Backs, Yivo is voiced by David Cross.
Is that David Cross? Of course
but
it is.
I thought, for the longest time, I thought it was Patton Oswalt. I'm like, wait a second.
They're legally different people,
yes.
But
but their voices have that same kind
quality.
of energy.
Like, hi, I'm a white guy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I also love the description, like not just like a white person's voice.
Yeah.
Like it's an energy.
You've never been fired. You've only been laid off.
Right. Yes.
Like it. And Danny Glover.
Doing the description. Danny Glover was such a great addition too. Like it's.
And then he said the thing. At the bar
of course
scene.
He says the thing.
He says, I'm too old for this shit.
So good.
Good for you. I love the, the shitty photocopy of the actual photo of, like, I don't know, his dad or his grandpa.
Yes.
In front of the nice car.
He kept putting up and
and
workspaces.
it kept changing.
Oh yeah,
did you not notice?
It did change
because his photo changed. So it was, just a guy standing in front of a car. And then once all the union stuff started, he's kind of got his fist up.
Right.
Like the unity fist. And then later, it changes super quick. Like there's a, later...
when he's a power caller?
Yeah, when he's a power caller, it's something different.
Okay.
And then, at one point, the guy has his head in his hands.
Yeah.
Like he's ashamed. And then at the, I can't remember the last one was like a thumbs up.
Yeah, that's right at the very end. Like he was doing, and it's funny because it's a super fun, and you can only do it in sort of like a absurdist film where you can get away with you can literally look at his metaphorical feelings about the picture.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a fun visual moment.
Oh shit, worry-free is actual slavery and they sell literal slaves. Oh, you have morals and qualms? Here's a boatload of money to shut that up.
Yes.
Meanwhile, his girlfriend's part of the rebellion.
Right. Right. Could you imagine dating Tessa Thompson? Jesus Christ.
I think one of my notes later on is Tessa Thompson ruined my life.
Sprite.
This movie feels like it dovetails nicely with Severance.
I was literally just going to be like, if it's they both are telling the same story from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's two different people, two different creatives.
Yeah.
Trying to tell you the same thing, but from two very different angles.
Yeah. Stephen Ewan's character is like, his mission is to just go around and start unions at different companies.
It's like a power
AKA
union starter.
The whole right wing's nightmare.
Literally.
I love a compliment fight.
That was fun. And, and that's an exquisite one too.
Yeah, that is a really good. I
Yeah.
hope you have a nice day. I hope your week is wonderful. I hope your month is just full of surprises and joy.
Until Danny Glover comes in and pushes them apart. Like, walk away.
But like there's that underlying tension, but they just can't be mean to each other. I don't know. I thought that was really fun.
Yeah.
The automated morning affirmation in the elevator feels like an HR violation.
It's a literal HR violation, and also it is. And I think I told you during the screening, it's Rosario Dawson, and by the end, like the fact that it just keeps getting scarier and scarier, like just like I hope you didn't masturbate today.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, what?
What the fuck?
We need you sharp.
We need you sharp. I can smell your pheromones. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Like there's AI in this.
I am a computer, but if I wasn't, it's like no. Shut it down. It's very
I loved the visual effect of all of his new stuff.
Where the old stuff fell apart.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
The new apartment kind of grew out of the old one.
Yeah, like there was no the way that time was portrayed.
Yeah.
Was really interesting because it was never told with like that
2 months later.
2 months later, right? Or even just the montage bit where it's like clearly there's things happening. No, it's like it felt raucously fast.
Yeah.
On purpose. And that is kind of how that feels. Like it just when things change in your life, like it just things change and like 2 months have gone by and you don't feel like that's what happens.
He lives in an all-white apartment with black and tan accents.
Uh-huh.
Is that a metaphor for capitalism or am I reading too much into that?
Normally, I would say you are, but given this movie, you probably are not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only 3 things to watch. The news about that covers the protests.
Yep.
The shit kicker show. And the worry-free propaganda
loop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You sidestep more than the fucking Temptations. I love that line. That is such a good line. And that scene was really interesting to see how this job is affecting his relationship with Tessa Thompson.
Yeah.
Because
Detroit.
Because he says he took the job to be more interesting to her.
Right.
When from the beginning, she's in this.
Right.
She's sleeping with you on a twin bed in your uncle's garage.
No,
she never showed that she was disinterested in him. She was always they were always very affectionate, always very, they have, but you can tell.
She genuinely, I think it's interesting because, I mean, right from the beginning, like just from the dialogue in the very beginning between the two of them, like you can tell she is like, yeah, no, you're like, you're the person that I feel like I achieve something from being with you right now. And for him, he feels like, she's got her art. It means something to her. And he just feels like, what am I doing? Yeah. And and that was it's a interesting, and I don't want to derail you, but like, this is like a core thing about this movie that like really stuck with me is there's a component that resonated with me, and obviously it goes beyond that. Like it starts with this, like the idea of, I don't feel like there is something in my life that is naturally calling to me.
Right.
Which I totally understand the thoughts behind that. There's things that interest me, but like I don't feel like there's like, you see out in the world and there's people that have a calling, right?
Yeah, your true passion.
Right, like the idea of passion, right? And so it's like, I feel like if I had a passion, I wouldn't care as much about money because I feel like I could be fulfilled without it. Like that sort of conversation. And, and he's like, instead, I'm finding things that I'm good at and then I can make money doing it. And that is something that, and then you enter into the world of like corporate America where you start to be like, how much can I sell? How much how much moral bankruptcy can I go through
you
to
have
achieve those ends?
morals and qualms. Here's a big bag of money.
Like, where is my limit there,
Yeah.
right? And that is a major component of this film.
Yeah.
And that is the part that I associate. Like, I really, truly, like, latch on and understand that aspect of
same.
it. Yeah.
Same.
But then the thing that I think that's really interesting to me about it is there's a racial and class component to it that actually moves beyond what I can like actually relate to on like a 1-to-1 level. But to me, it was because I was able to latch on with the first part that it let me it really gives you an understanding of somebody else. Yeah. And I think that's this is one of those movies that I thought, I'm like, this is art that can actually give me insight. Yeah. You know,
this movie is going to teach me something. Yeah. And
I'm going to learn something.
I'm going to like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until the horse people come. Such a fucking turn. Anyway, we'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get to it.
I need your live tweets for all of this. I'm so excited. So excited.
I and like to that point, I relate to that so hard.
Right.
I think a lot of people in my friend group, especially our friend group, like we're not doing something that we actually care about. Like we are more on the creative side. Like the stuff we do outside of work is more of what our
where we gain
where we get our fulfillment.
Our fulfillment, yes.
And so like his struggle with that with like I don't really have anything in my life that I am that passionate about. Right. I'm not that fulfilled, so I'm going to make the best out of. Like, that is such a fucking mood.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I definitely relate to that.
Yeah, same.
I you know, it's fucking Boots Riley.
Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? Who gave you the right to just come out of here and just
dare you touch my psyche like this?
I know. Really like truly fucked with me. Yeah. I agree. It is a thing where it's like, and you know, I think you and I share a lot of those kind of things where it's like we both have things outside of our work, career work, whatever, that are more fulfilling to us, but aren't necessarily like something that is like, I can't make it my identity. Like I don't have the ability to make that my identity. And that is where I totally understand where it's like, well, I got to find something to be my career so I can live and have a life. And because
capitalism sucks.
Yeah. Crazy.
So then he goes to work as a scab basically, and then he gets hit by the can, which becomes a huge thing on YouTube and shit.
Yes. Which is also weirdly realistic. Like that's also like a, oof. Yeah, and like, and that's kind of weirdly racial too.
And and then people start dressing up like in costumes with the soda can on the black hair, on the black curly wig, and like that's, and I don't know if you caught, he had blood under his right eye, where, and then like there's, you know, the resistance group for the worry free are called the left eye something, and they have the black smudge under their left eye. I'm like, that is little symbolism.
That and his like bandage like is like just on for so long, and it like continues to bleed, and it gets worse
until he starts speaking out against what he knows.
Yeah, you're right.
Like that's the moment that it comes off, and you can see his scratch, and it's like a scab now, and he's healing.
That visual storytelling is like visually just projected onto him.
So good.
It's super good.
I love that Tessa Thompson's white voice is Lily James.
It's so funny. Do you guys like the accent and stuff when she's talking?
I thought she was just talking with a British accent.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
That was crazy to me.
It was weird. And that's the thing that that was another side bit that I really found fun about this is the cushion on the fell off of the couch.
I got it.
The idea of like even when it's your passion, right?
Even when
it's there's still a lot of code switching that goes along with that.
Yeah. I need that bikini that she was wearing.
That was just gloves.
Looks like over her boobs, and then I don't know if you saw the crotch piece.
Oh, it was also like
it was a middle finger.
I love it so much.
I need that bikini.
I love it
even though it's not a real bikini. doing 18 inches of coke at a crazy party. Is that just normal? Like
Is that
a normal
just like a thing you just do?
Army
or-
Hammer night? Like, is that just what he does?
I mean, yeah, we haven't gotten to the Army
We
Hammer.
haven't gotten to the Army Hammer of it all until right now, because this is when he gets his screen time about 2/3 of the way through the movie.
Right. Yeah. Tell me everything. I need to know your thoughts.
I honestly, I was he even acting?
I doubt it.
I doubt it.
Like, I honestly, and it's so weird. Like, all the
Because, like-
discussion, the discourse around the Man Army Hammer.
Yeah.
No one talks about this movie, which
No
is
one
weird
does.
to me, because it is truly like, well, like when people start describing, like, it was sort of like when I started to watch the documentary, or whatever. I'm just like, I need to rewatch.
Sorry to bother you.
About you, because I feel like he just telegraphed his entire deal.
Pretty much.
It was
'Cause
so weird.
You can tell, he's the CEO of this company that he probably inherited from his father.
Right.
He comes from old money. You can tell, like, and he does all this really illegal shit that.
And he does it in such a blasé way.
Yeah.
Like, he's holding the gun and he's just like
Yeah.
wandering around with it and like
He
and
just
doing
has-
coke casually.
Yeah.
And he's got, was that like a whip that he had in his
That
hand?
was a little riding crop.
Little riding crop. Yeah. He just
He
had
just
that
carries it
casually, was
around.
walking around with it. Like, it was just so natural
Yeah.
that I was like, oh, no.
Makes me feel uncomfortable in light of,
Yeah.
a room full of people demanding a black guy rap.
Right.
That felt very minstrel show.
It 100%.
I was like-
that was so coded to like, yeah. And then
he
he's
can't
like,
rap.
He's like, I don't rap. I just happen to be a black man.
I can listen to rap really well.
Yeah,
like,
big fan of it. And then like then he was like, I have to do something. Otherwise
yeah.
they're just like,
and so he just pulls out the
N-word
N-word repeatedly, and just
and then they just loved it.
Yeah.
Oh god, it was so like
it's you can tell it's that group of people, like that middle to higher corporate executives, like quote unquote experiencing blackness, and that makes me very, very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think that's another
and they
thing.
experience it by demanding performances and
Right.
like dance for me.
Yeah.
Like-
yeah, literally dance for me. That's the vibe.
Zoom out. That there was after that, he's sitting in a room by himself crying, and then you zoom out, you get this long zoom
Yes.
into the hallway
Oh my
where
God. Everyone's fucking.
everyone's fucking, and the only two black guys are not. They are not included. Mm-hmm. And then Mr.
Which is honestly one of my favorite
such
bits.
It's
such a weird thing.
But I love it.
And it's cool because it's there's a lot of things that they do in this movie that are a gag that only works because it's film.
Yeah.
And that's a classic example where it's like, wait, so they're saying we can't hear.
Yeah.
How does that work? Like, it's like, what is the bit here? It's such a weird thing to like literally like you can tell they're saying a name.
That was a little comment on kind of backdoor corporate
Yes.
like nefariousness.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, censorship in a way that's
Helly R versus
Yes.
Helena Egan. Sorry
right.
if I just spoiled Severance for you. It's fine.
No, I've seen that much.
I know. Yeah.
But anyone else, if you're sorry, which I'm side note, I love that Severance is finally getting like its big blow up online. Like,
Really?
Yeah, people on
Awesome.
on my corner of the internet are just like, oh my god, Severance is wild. I'm like, I know.
so good.
I've been waiting for the new season for forever, and
so good.
I'm very excited to watch it at some point.
We don't cry about what should be. We thrive in what is.
Yup.
Holy fuck! What a statement.
What a statement. There's a couple of those in here.
There's a
that
couple
are crazy.
that I just whoa.
Yeah.
It hits you.
Yeah.
My next note is, yeah, I hate the shower room full of human horse hybrids.
What a hot take.
I hate it.
I hate it so much.
Why do the stop motion ape girls' boobs keep moving?
Oh, it's awful.
They're just constantly moving.
They're always constantly moving. Like, it's clearly like there's a
Like really cheap, bad stop
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 motion animation.
motion,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, and it's like I don't know, like, and that sequence must have taken a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Like they must have started working on that forever ago. Like it was a lot of work, and like the idea of him like, and that's the other thing too, is like you can tell that like what is the character's name? Steve Lift. Yeah, like the idea of the character like being hyper fixated on like breasts and dicks is like just the least shocking thing.
Yeah. Oh,
you know,
yeah.
so like the fact that there's like a topless like prehistoric woman giving the information like it's some sort of Neanderthal character, and like
and
she's just got nipples that are just out hanging around doing
and that's
stuff.
not how ape boobs work.
No, it's all it's all catered to his gaze. Yeah.
And then just in all caps, yikes. Because that's the video where you find out that, you know, the company is making
human horse
hybrid mutations.
What was it again?
Equihumans.
Equisapiens.
Equisapiens. Yeah, that's right.
It's terrifying.
Like, why horses? Because like after that video, then you kind of, I started to notice all of the horse decor in the room.
Because there's like the weird like that's a weird rich person thing. I was gonna say anyway.
that is such a weird like a rich person world.
Yes.
That the rest of the world doesn't, like, we don't know shit about shit.
And guess what? What do rich people do? They fucking buy and sell horses.
Yeah, and they breed them. And
so he's like, oh, perfect. We need to
create our own mutations of human. Such a fucking.
He's like, well, I already buy and sell horses, and now with Worry Free, I also buy and sell people.
Yeah, so why not combine the two?
Combine the two.
It's just a natural progression.
Best of both worlds for me.
I started to wonder if it was a bit of a fetish thing.
Oh, 100%.
Because his selling point is you'll have a horse cock.
Dick. Right, you'll have a horse cock, which I'm like, why would you want that? Like, why would you want that?
Yeah.
Like,
who are you gonna fuck with a horse cock?
Like, there's no that's not like not a usable.
No. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Why are you? What is happening?
And again, it's because it's forced from his gaze, like from like that's something that is desire. Like, why is that desirable?
Yeah,
like that's crazy.
Because he has to have the biggest penis ever. Right. Which horses don't have the biggest penis of the.
I don't know.
Mammalian world.
I mean, how do you? I mean,
I think walruses do.
Like, are you talking about just like in total length, or in terms of like
I think
body ratio?
Body ratio.
Walruses.
And I think it's walruses.
Right.
I don't know.
Because
I'm not gonna Google it.
I would have to assume it'd be. Yeah, we're gonna speculate. We're not actually gonna look this up. I don't want to get on that list.
You guys can do that at home.
Feel free and like don't send us links. Just tell us.
Please don't. You know, after this revelation, this fucking left turn
of the mother of all left turns. The fact that I had to sit there and just wait for this turn to come in this movie was I
applaud you.
Thank you
for your restraint.
It was really challenging.
Oh my god. Then he's at the doctor's office and he's reading the National Enquirer,
of course,
or the this world's version of, and it says the horses are taking our job. Horse humans are taking our jobs. It's like, I want to point out that the Enquirer has some good journalistic like revelations. Like, they broke the Duggar case.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
the problem with that is, you know, it's one of those deals where anything that they say could be real.
Yeah.
But also, like, so much of it isn't.
Yeah.
So that's the one
like
challenge. It's
needle
like
in a haystack.
A fire hose of bullshit, and every now and then there's one crazy true thing in there.
Yeah. Yep, I noted the bandage comes off when he whistle blows.
Okay.
And then, you know, he goes out and he tells the world about this horrible thing, and then on the news, it's like the brilliant scientific convention.
I know. Oh, it's so
worry-free, and
oh my god,
it makes their stock price soar, and you know he's richer than ever, and that is such.
It's such an American
like thing.
Whistleblowing, like, wow, we're like really, I mean, yeah, no, and I have there's a line, but I'm gonna wait because I want to see if you get to it first.
Then, there's some Apple symbolism that was really
yes, there is,
brief.
Isn't there?
Because Armie Hammer, Steven, whatever, gives him an apple when he arrives in his office.
Yep.
And then at the protest before, they like the Mr. Beep, actually, like, he like takes a bite of an apple that he has.
Okay.
So I'm like,
doesn't he buy one earlier too?
I think so.
Do we?
So like the apple going back to the tree of
life,
the knowledge of good and evil.
Right.
And he's Mr. Blank has eaten the apple.
Right.
He knows.
Oh, I see. So it's like, it's sort of the forbidden knowledge thing, like whether or not you've crossed that line or not.
Well, I don't want to use the drink the Kool-Aid, but like bought into.
Yeah, you've crossed the event horizon of some forbidden
something.
Knowledge, right?
Because
because
Cash doesn't.
Cash never bites.
He never bites into the apple,
right?
He
has it. It's been given to him, but he never actually.
But he never takes a bite,
right?
Whereas the other guy, Mr. Bleep,
right? He actually bites it, so he's already
bitten into it.
He's already crossed the event
horizon. That line.
Yeah.
He is 100% this company's
chill.
Man.
Yeah, he's bought. Yeah, he's fully bought man.
He's in it.
Yeah. Interesting.
And then the horse guys that Cash freed,
right?
Like come in, save the day,
right.
And then the lead guy says, "Equisapiens, roll out." I'm like, are you like a superhero crew? Like, I mean, are you the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Because you're kind of that. He's just like, bro, I'm from Queens.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, sorry,
like, bro, talk normal.
He was trying to be like, thank you so much. He's like,
we are very honored to be in your presence. Like, dude, come on.
I'm just from Queens. Chill.
I wrote, Equisapiens, roll out. What are they? Superheroes? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
Because the end of the movie happens. He's back in his uncle, like we were talking about earlier. He's back in his uncle's basement or garage. Yeah. He's got his girl back. He's, realized the error of his ways. He's made this whole emotional arc.
Right.
And then, he gets down on one knee and he's in pain, but it might be an act, and then he pulls his hands away and he's got the horse nose. The transformation has begun. End of movie. Fuck. Sorry to bother you comes on screen, and then right away, we're seeing Armie Hammer in a fucking night dress.
Right. Yeah. Classic.
Because he just woke up.
Again, they actually just went to his house. He was not in character.
Yeah. And then it's like Cash and the rest of the horse guys come and wreak their vengeance.
Their vengeance on him.
Which is totally justified.
Because the stock exchange wasn't gonna. So
never does.
There's a line at the end when he's like making amends with everybody. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember who says it now. But it's the line that's like, I'm gonna get it wrong. It's sort of like when bad shit's happening and there's nothing you can directly do to change it. It's really easy just to accept that it's normal.
Oh yeah. I almost wrote that one down, but I didn't.
Right.
It's like,
I didn't either.
When they're shown the problem.
Right.
But you can show them the problem, but it's easier to just learn to live with the problem.
If it's a problem that you can't just yourself change or easily have a direct effect over. It's just easier to live with the problem.
Yeah.
And that's a line where I was like, oh God, that's rough. You know,
That's
that's
where we're at.
That's where we're at. It's played out before and it will play out again.
This whole movie was
there's literally a horse loose in a hospital.
Oh.
Yeah.
But this time the horse has a sneaky little weasel that is cutting the power to certain rooms.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's not even a sneaky weasel. He's
just a weasel. He's just doing it. Yeah.
It's like
So
I'm sorry, weasels. I didn't mean to offend you.
That's not very nice to weasels. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this movie is as wild as the last time that I saw
it. Is so good.
It is.
Like I am a sucker for visual storytelling.
100%.
Especially, playing with, the fucking I can't even, man. It's so good.
It's so good. Let's rate this fucking thing.
So I can get to my nap because I still need it. I feel like I've been rambling like a crazy person.
No, that's usually me. So thank you for being the person.
Well,
the most recent episode I was editing, I was just like, oh my God, I didn't shut up for like 25, 30 minutes. I just didn't stop talking. Okay. Production and design. Are we giving this thing a 5?
I have a feeling it's going to be 5s.
Yeah. Okay. Production and design. I mean, we've talked about it.
Yeah.
Visual storytelling is amazing.
I can't even.
The only weird thing was Mr. Bleep was
he had too many things.
But also like that was
but I think that's kind of
the point.
The point of Mr. Bleep is he's trying to find something to make him unique.
Yes, and he did all of them.
He did all of them, yeah. He
So,
did not follow Coco Chanel's advice where you take off one accessory before you leave the house.
Was that before or after she was talking about Nazis?
I think it was during when, she was fucking Nazis.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent. So yeah, I mean, because I think everything we talked about visually, like from the car to the environment, like everything was so well crafted.
To the bandage, to the set design,
right?
That the set had clues.
Yes,
and I've been looking for more clues in set design than I don't know than I have in the past. And what else was it? Oh, I wanted to mention Tessa Thompson's art.
Yes.
Like her characters, the art that she's doing that's based around Africa and how that helps illustrate the plight of the people at the worry-free places, being taken from and like having all of your agency taken from you in order to work.
Right.
Like, that is,
Yep.
I guess that would be more in the story aspect, but still, yeah. 5 for that.
Story rating. I know.
Can I give it a 5?
Yes.
Because this is like nothing I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
And
it is truly an original.
It is super original.
Yeah.
And it's so well done.
Yeah.
I can't get over it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be thinking about this movie for the rest of time, I guess. I don't know.
It'll live rent free.
It's going to live. It is.
To the point where Terry Crews is going to be like, I'm your uncle. Like, you can't just keep...
I wish Terry Crews was my uncle. Right? Sorry to my current uncles.
But also, they can't be mad. It's Terry Crews.
But if one of you was Terry Crews,
I wouldn't be mad.
I would not be mad. Or if Terry Crews just like adopted me as his niece, which is totally a thing.
That can happen, right?
Yeah. Terry Crews come on our podcast.
Terry Crews come on our podcast. The other thing too, I'll say about the story is that there are some one-liners. That are just like, we
mentioned a couple of them. But that just
frequently this movie would drop a truth bomb on you that you're like. Like it is philosophical in a way that is hard to explain. Like it can really cut to the core of something, and you can start to apply elements of it to any part of your life. It's crazy.
I want to write a paper about this movie. Like
fair.
I want to go back to college just so I can write a paper about this movie.
I need to pay someone so I can write a dissertation about this movie.
Pretty much.
That's so funny. So yeah, and then performances. I think it's a 5 because everyone understood the assignment.
I'll give it a 4.5.
Okay.
I'm gonna knock it half a star off for Armie Hammer.
Fair.
Who?
But like I feel like the problem though is he was really good.
Yeah, but he wasn't acting.
But they didn't know at the time. Like,
No, we didn't know that at the
production.
time. It was 2018. This was, I'll
let me propose this to you. I think that we should leave the casting and performances a 5.
Yeah.
But maybe we dock it in cultural.
Yeah.
Because of that. Because it has come out later.
Yeah.
Because I think that performance-wise, like
2020,
everything was perfect.
Yeah.
Even though it's the lens of time that has shown the cracks in that particular performance. Because it wasn't a performance, it was just real life. That's just a Tuesday for him.
Him.
Holy shit.
Anyway.
So cultural impact, should we drop it to a 4.5 because of that, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Hammer legacy of it all
would be the 0.5 off on that one. Yeah, I agree.
Other than that, the social commentary and the relatability,
Yes,
especially because this movie came out 7 years ago.
Yeah, tail end of the first Trump administration.
Yeah, and it's still so applicable.
It's almost more applicable.
Yeah.
It's only
and that's
gotten
scary.
more. It is. It's really like they are predicting exactly what was going to happen. It's happening.
And I know at the time, wasn't Google trying to do kind of a live work situation?
That's probably what it was.
I think, in the mid-10s, in the mid-teens, they were trying to do that, but it wasn't approved by the city or some shit. I don't know.
Thank God. Someone didn't approve it.
Yeah. So this movie is scarily accurate, and
it's supposed to be a black comedy.
It is.
It is.
There are some really fucking funny points.
Yeah.
And it's for me, the Armie Hammer of it all.
Yeah.
Is worth half a point of Doc.
Half a star of Doc.
Yeah.
It does color it.
I mean, I don't think he had a big enough role for it to completely derail my admiration for this movie.
Right.
If he had a bigger role,
it might have. Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I'm never gonna watch Call Me by Your Name.
Right.
Because
no,
gross.
Thank you. Yep. Do you want to know where this sits in our ranking?
Number 2.
No, actually.
I mean, not number 2, but I know there's a block of the 5 stars.
Yeah, there's 3 5 stars. It is tied at 4.9 with Dirty Dancing.
Nice.
Love that for it.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of that is Coco and Snowpiercer.
Okay. Yeah.
Because Snowpiercer, I mean, I guess Snowpiercer, Inside Out, No Brother Where Art Thou are all tied for first. And then 4.5, Sorry to Bother You and Dirty Dancing, and then 4.8 is Coco and White Christmas. So
nice.
That is our weighted scoring system, which of course you can find on
our website,
filmschoolslacker.com. And we're collectively exhausted.
Yeah, no, I need a nap. This movie was so good, I need a nap. That's the real testament.
Truly. All right. Well, thank y'all for listening.
Yeah.
This has been Film School Slacker.
I'm Megan.
And I'm Ian.
We're gonna go now.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Film School Slacker. Our graphic design is by Mitch Ransdell. Music by Ariel Shalom and Ziv Moran. Voiceover audio provided by Mike D and Janet Paoni. Learn more at filmschoolslacker.com.